Good evening, everyone. My name is Ken Hignell, Principal at Fleetwood Park Secondary. Welcome to the 2021 Fleetwood Park Grade 8 Parent Information Night. It takes a village to raise a dragon. This is an excellent quote for us here at Fleetwood Park with our Fleetwood Park Dragons, and it really summarizes our goal to work together, to work and learn together for success. Success in all areas of learning. I would like to begin with the territorial acknowledgement. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. And we'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the shared traditional territory of the Coast Salish people on which our school, Fleetwood Park, is located. We acknowledge the Katzie, Semiahmoo, and Kwantlen First Nations, and would like to recognize the diverse population of people who have come to Fleetwood Park and the Surrey School District and who contribute to such a rich, dynamic, inclusive culture. Welcome, everyone. On behalf of our vice principals, Mr. Karinzik and Ms. Duff, we would just like to acknowledge that these are extraordinary times, hence our need to be flexible and resilient and creative. Normally, we would all be meeting together in our gymnasium face-to-face. However, that is just not possible at this time with our COVID-19 health and safety guidelines. Hence, this video presentation. In addition to the video presentation, we will post a link for an opportunity for parents to send in questions related to the presentation or school, so that you will have an opportunity to learn as much as possible about the systems in place for support for your children in grade 8 at Fleetwood Park.
That will be posted in the description of this video. So if you just go down below this video in the description area, the link to the form will be posted there.
In our next slide, I'd like to introduce our counseling team. So we have a wonderful, supportive team of counselors who are here as advocates for your children. Their portfolios are organized by Alpha. So if your child's last name ends or begins from A to E, Miss Porter is their counselor, Mr. Juzzi, F to K, Miss Perizzolo, L to R, and Mr. Crema, S to Z. Our counseling team has a wide scope in terms of the support that they provide, from personal counseling to course selection to career counseling to post-secondary counseling. We really strongly encourage our students to seek out support from our counseling team whenever necessary, and the best way is to contact them through email. All of our staff email addresses can be found on our website. Some general information about our enrollment for the school year. So as expected, and as we have experienced the last several years, our school continues to grow in size. We have 1,578 students here at the school. In grade 8, there are 322 students. We have 91 teachers and 24 support staff. It is a big, busy, bustling, dynamic, exciting place to work and learn. I think that it's most appropriate to begin with some COVID-19 guidelines to again, our first priority is to ensure the health and safety of our staff and students as much as we possibly can in times of pandemic. And so during homeroom, our homeroom teachers reviewed really in detail many protocols related to COVID-19 guidelines. I'm just going to provide an overview for 4 of them, beginning with stay at home if you are sick. And so all of our students and staff have been reminded that common cold, influenza, COVID-19 symptoms, any other respiratory symptoms, please stay at home and self-isolate. And in order to support that, we sent home a health self-assessment checklist to all families, and we're asking all students and staff to review that checklist each morning. Please stay at home if you are sick. Reminders that calling 811 is an excellent resource for any medical questions related to COVID-19. And we've also placed a resource on our website from Fraser Health that provides a great deal of medical information related to school and process. It's an excellent source of information. Please check that out. It's on our website on the homepage. Next is hand hygiene. So we're reminding everyone, wash your hands often. Every classroom will either have sink with soap or hand sanitizer. Every student should be washing their hands often throughout the day. When students walk into a new classroom, they should wash their hands. When they leave that classroom in the school, at the end of the day, they should wash their hands. Hand washing is the most effective way to reduce the spread of illness. Next is around respiratory hygiene. So we are reminding our students to cover their coughs with their elbow and not their hands, to try their very best not to touch their faces throughout the day, and of course, do not share food, to keep their hands to themselves, do not share personal items, really try to keep their hands to themselves. Masks is an excellent additional piece related to respiratory hygiene. The Ministry of Health and Education's official policy around masks is that if students are in common areas like hallways, outside, the plaza, and they cannot maintain physical distancing, then they must wear a mask. And so with this, the school has provided students and staff 2 masks. We require students to bring a mask to school every day, just in case they are in areas where they are not able to physically distance. If a student has forgotten their mask in the morning, please come to the office and ask for another one. In addition to that, we are just simply asking our students to wear a mask as often as possible. And so whether that be in the classroom, in the hallways, outside the school, just wear a mask whenever possible. The more often a student can wear a mask, the safer the school community will be. Okay, next is around physical distancing and minimizing that contact. So again, wherever we possibly can, especially outside of that Block A cohort, we are reminding students that that 2 meters, that 6 feet of physical distancing should be maintained. And we are trying our very best to spread our students and staff out across the school grounds, within the school, within the common areas, as much as we possibly can. And so the top priority for our supervisors is to remind students to physically distance of 2 meters whenever possible. Okay, next slide is around communication. It is really important that the school and families work together as a team, and we have a bunch of different tools that we use to try to maintain that close communication with families. Here are just some of them. And so we have an attendance system where we email or call homes if a child is away. We also ask parents to email or call the school with if your child is going to be absent. Of course, we have our website. That website is our primary source of communication with our families. Please check it daily. We have our Fleetwood Park Dragons app. We have a school messenger voicemail call out system, our Twitter feed, our Twitter accounts, principal's blog, Facebook account, YouTube account. We have a variety of ways that we can reach out to parents, and we encourage you to try and access as many of them as you can. The more communication, the better. And as I mentioned earlier, all of our teachers' email addresses are on our website. That is the most effective way for parents to reach out and communicate with teachers. We'd like to remind everyone that during our COVID-19 health guidelines that are in place, parent, guardian, visitor access in the school is not permitted. Please call the school in order to arrange an appointment prior to arrival. We are not able to have parents, guardian, visitors in the school, again, in order to try and protect the health of the community. Please check our website. The MyEdBC Parent Portal is another communication tool that will provide parents access to report cards, to timetables. You're able to ensure that all the demographic contact information there is accurate. And again, that link and those instructions can be found on our websites. It is a primary source of information and communication between the school and the family. The school login and password, every student should now have access to that MyEdBC account. And then again, as I earlier mentioned, another app that is very important, again, thousands of downloads across our community. It is a free download. It's the Fleetwood Park Dragons app. The daily announcements will go onto this app. We have a number of resources around school information on this app. It's an excellent source of information. So we encourage everybody to download it. It works really well. We can also set up groups, and we can push messages to individual groups of students as well. And again, in times of pandemic, that virtual communication and the use of the app is even more important. Please download the app. Okay, I'd like to move on to scheduling and the new quarter system. So this year, right across the Surrey School District, we are all on the quarter system, and that means that students only take 2 classes at a time across 4 quarters. So we're now in quarter 1. Block A, long class in the morning. Block B, long class in the afternoon. That is the schedule. The block in the morning has a 10-minute nutrition break. And so we don't have bells this year. We're just asking our students to remember that their morning class begins at 8:30 and their afternoon class begins at 12:15. Okay, so 8:30 and 12:15, just 2 classes at a time. And as I mentioned, we are in a quarter system. So students will take 2 classes at a time. First quarter will go until November the 13th. And then on November the 16th, we will start the second quarter, where students will take blocks C and D, and then so on into the quarter 3 on February 1st and quarter 4 on April the 19th. I should note that we have organized grade 8s into cohorts, which means that for the most part, most of our grade 8s will be in their same cohort the entire year. So the same group of students will be in block A in quarter 1 and block B in quarter 2, and then the same group of students in block C and then block D quarter 2, and so on in quarter 3 and quarter 4. This will reduce the number of contacts that your children will have throughout the school year. And again, it is a primary health and safety structure as a result of COVID-19. And as an example of the significant system changes that the school has established in order to try and protect the health and safety of our community. Okay, with that, I am going to pass it over to our vice principals to talk about code of conduct and other systems in the school.
Hi, everyone. It's very disappointing that we're having to do this over a meeting like this. Meeting the grade 8 parents was one of the highlights last year. I know that I've been lucky enough to speak with many of you on the phone and through email this year, but meeting you in person is always one of the special nights of the school. So I'm sorry this is the way we're having to do things. Code of conduct, we at Fleetwood respect ourselves and others, respect the environment, and obviously respect the learning that we're getting in our classrooms. Electronic devices. Students love to bring their electronic devices with them to school. We just want to warn you, especially the parents of grade 8 students, that thefts do happen at the school of electronic devices. We highly recommend that if it is something that is expensive, that it does not come to school. And because we don't have lockers and places to put things away, it is very important that students are very careful with their devices. And even though I'm warning you right now, I'm sure that soon one of you will be calling me about something going missing. So just a reminder, if it's an expensive thing that's very precious to your child, it should not come to school. It should stay home where we know it's safe. Dress code. We don't allow hats or hoods up in the school. So please, no hats or hoods. Smoking, vaping, alcohol, and drugs are obviously all not allowed on school grounds at all. And most of those things are illegal for our young people to be doing. All of them are. So please just be mindful of that. If you hear of anything or see anything and you want us to know about it, you're worried about anything, please let us know. And of course, just a reminder again, I know Mr. Hignall already said this, social distancing is really important this year. Thanks.
Welcome, everyone. As Ms. Duff shared, disappointing to have this really important event in our year take place online, but my hope is that whether it be this school year or one in the future, we're able to connect. And it's been really nice to connect by people over email and phone, but I look forward to meeting in person eventually too. This slide is meant to highlight Career Education 8, which is a very, it can be a confusing course that appears in student schedules for our grade 8 students. So Career Education 8 is a non-enrolling course where students, instead of going to a particular classroom and having a particular teacher for that, they actually complete activities through other classes. At the grade 8 level, it's primarily through their arts and applied skills courses, and some of this will take place through Microsoft Teams. The teachers of these classes will assign kind of career activities that are relevant to their areas of teaching. Eventually in the year, Mr. Erb is the coordinator for our Career Education 8 program, and he will get students connected with a website called My Blueprint. This is a website where the activities will be completed and shared with him, and that the students will use through to grade 12. So it will follow the students along and sort of show their growth in the areas of the core competencies. Mr. Erb will also assign self-reflection activities using My Blueprint throughout the year. It's really important that your child be on top of these activities. They may not take them as seriously or complete them with the same rate that they do their regular class activities. And something that was quite common or is quite common at the end of the year is this course, while it is non-enrolling, does get a mark. And students often don't understand that or don't expect that. And at the end of the year, they receive a mark they're not expecting, often one that's lower than what they're getting in their other classes. So throughout the year, they should be paying attention to these career activities, in particular, talking to their arts and ADST teachers about what kinds of activities are related to career education. And if you have any questions, please contact Mr. Erb. As Mr. Hignall mentioned before, all the school contacts are on the school website, so you can reach out to him to ask to get clarity around what to expect. But it's something that won't happen really until your child is in an art or ADST course. And actually, while we're talking about it, there's a grade 9 equivalent of this. So in grade 9, the same non-enrolling course will appear on your child's schedules. Extracurricular clubs and athletics are a really important part of Fleetwood Park's DNA, and it's been really tough to start the year off sort of with the knowledge that the ability for clubs and athletics to run are going to be very limited. And in cases where it's possible, they will have to be physically distanced. BC School Sports and school districts in the province are talking about what athletics may look like, but at this point, no clubs or athletics have started. All clubs and athletics are also now required to be approved by not only the school's principal, but also by the school district. So just know that there are processes sort of being developed for students and for staff to apply for these clubs and athletics to take place. But at this point, there's nothing running, and they will require 2 levels of approval.
Okay, Parent Advisory Council. So I would strongly encourage all grade 8 parents to become part of our PAC. Our PAC is a wonderful group of supportive parents who make a significant difference in the life of the school. We are really grateful for the support that they are able to provide, and it's an excellent way for parents to become involved in the school and learn learn more about how Fleetwood Park operates. The meetings in general are held the last Monday of, I think that we have 6 or 7 meetings a year. This year, again, due to the pandemic, face-to-face meetings are not being held, but we were able to hold meetings on Zoom last year. So our plan is to continue that. So more details to follow around what that will look like and the invitations. Again, all grade 8 guardians, parents are welcome to join us. Important to note that the PAC in high schools do not do fundraising, but they are able to determine how PAC funds are met. And again, it's a great way for parents to ensure that your voices are heard. So the first meeting again is Monday, September 28th at 7 p.m. on Zoom, and we hope to see you there.
One final adjusted activity for the school year is our grade 8 retreat. And so this is a really important event in our welcoming year for our grade 8 students as they join us here at Fleetwood Park. And so in a typical year, it looks like the grade 8 class is split into 2, so into 2 large groups of around 150. And each of those groups go to Camp McLean, which is in South Langley, for an overnight camp where they connect with new students in their grade. They connect with some of our camp leaders who are our older students, and connect with staff who go down and volunteer their time to run the camp. Really big, important event in our school, and with the current health guidelines, it can't operate the way that it normally does. That said, the group of teachers who spearhead this activity, this big welcoming opportunity in our school, are planning alternative welcoming events. And so once those are planned and up and running, we'll be informing the grade 8 classes how and when to participate in those. But obviously with sort of the understanding that it's going to look a lot different than a typical year. And that's a really hard reality for us to kind of grapple with, but it's what's right to do in terms of keeping people safe.
Yeah, so the grade 8 retreat this year will be happening on school property with individual cohorts in an afternoon sometime in October. So it will be not possible to take students off site, and that physical distancing and working with cohorts will need to be maintained. However, I am looking forward to it and optimistic that it will be a great, fun afternoon of welcome and orientation for our grade 8 students. Okay, so in closing, obviously in all of our messaging this evening, we have talked about different systems and revisioning what a school looks like and how we operate. Although the school year will be different, the fundamental message that I would like to convey to all is that it's going to be okay. The school year, our students will be successful. We will proceed with care and safety and flexibility and caution and follow the necessary guidelines, but the learning will continue to be rich and meaningful, and our students will continue to lead, and they will continue to celebrate. It's still going to be a year of success at Fleetwood Park. I'm absolutely confident that that is going to occur. I'd like to close by saying that it's so important that we work together, because when we work together, 2 fundamental things happen. We support excellence in all forms of learning, and we create a family of support at Fleetwood Park Secondary. And so I encourage all grade 8 parents, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact us if you have any questions. And by working together, we will establish our Dragon family. And I know that we will be successful in celebrating that success throughout the year. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. Please look for that link for a survey if you have any questions. We would be happy to get back to you with as many answers as we possibly can. Thank you very much, everybody. All the best.